Hey everybody, welcome back to Passion for Peppers. Exciting times here. Today we're going to install some lights. We've actually got a few peppers that have now sprouted, and so it's time to get some lights set up. So yeah, come on in and let's check it out. So I've got a couple different kinds of lights, and this was just trial by fire. I purchased these back in 2023, and they've been very good to me. So I've got one of these lights from Mars Hydro, and then I've got two of these from Viper Spectra. And I wanted to try a couple different ones, and I'm really happy with both, but for different reasons. So this Mars Hydro, I usually set up at the top of my greenhouse here, and I'll show you that in a little bit, but it's super lightweight, easy to hang, just plugs in and away it goes. I have it on a timer, but both sets of lights come with these this hardware to hang it, and it's adjustable heights, but honestly I use zip ties, and I'll show you that in a little bit. It's easy to get it set at the height you want initially, and then we'll adjust these as the peppers grow. This Viper Spectra light, I like it a little bit better for my early peppers. It has adjustable brightness on it, so I will start with a lower brightness on it, and as the peppers acclimate over the next week or so, I'll slowly start to take up the brightness. This one here is actually super bright out the gate, so I usually wait till I get some peppers that have grown and gotten accustomed to the bright light and move them up. Another way you could do this is you can reduce the number of hours, but I like to just set my timer and leave it alone the entire time I've got them in the greenhouse. But you could adjust that timer and reduce the amount of light time that they're exposed. But with these, I can adjust the brightness, and that works out great. So next, we'll go ahead and hang a few lights here to show you that. Okay, so coming a little closer, I don't know if you can see, but the trays here are doing their thing. I've set up thermometers. I really like these thermometers. We can drop a link in the comments or however that works for these, but I've found that these work great. They're really accurate, give you both temperature and humidity. Again, I'm striving for about 80 degrees. And right now with these on here, the humidity doesn't get too high, but once the peppers, I take these lids off and they're out of these little greenhouses, the humidity in here will be a lot higher. But very happy with these. So just for fun, again, so you don't need any light to get peppers to sprout, but once they do sprout, that's when you need to go ahead and get light going, because they're going to need it. So these were planted not even a week ago, so happy to see some of them are sprouting already, but over the next week or so, we'll see a lot of action, these sprouting. We'll take a couple zip ties and put them together like this. This will give me enough length so that when I put these together, and I'll put this through the light, that I've got a good little bit of drape to the light, and then as the peppers grow, these are easy to adjust. You just tighten up that and you slowly lift the lights up off of the peppers. So we'll put the first one in here. This is a little cumbersome. I don't love this being filmed, but anyway, we'll just kind of get it dangling at first, and then we'll adjust it once we get all of these in place here. Again, this is relatively simple. There's a lot of different ways you could do this. This is just cheap and simple for me. Something else about the lights is they will and do, even though these are LED, they do generate heat. So that'll also play a role in heating this greenhouse. The heat mats actually during the day will ultimately not even run, because the lights will create enough heat in here to keep the greenhouse warm. But then at night, when the lights are off, they'll kick back in to keep the space at the temperature desired. So maybe a little cumbersome to see there, but ultimately try to keep the lights down low, and you want that'll help prevent you from getting leggy, they like to say leggy plants that ultimately the plant is growing towards that light source. So if you can keep that plant short, it'll get a little bulkier, stronger. But if you let it get leggy, then ultimately you're going to have a tall, skinny plant out the gate that doesn't fare as well. So yeah, first one here, and I'll get the next ones hanging here. All right, we'll get the second light hung. These are a little trickier because of these shelves here, but get this hanging now. Adjust it. I like it. Let's look how first it is. Take time. Rush. Okay, we've got the 3 lights I have set up here, so we'll get them started up here in a second, but just kind of what I talked about earlier is this one's very bright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm pulling the peppers from underneath this one and moving them down to these 2 lights so that I can start a little dimmer. The reason why I like this light here is I am able to ultimately get it up just a little bit higher for this top shelf than I can under these other shelves. So when I do start to get some taller peppers, which will be a little while from now, but they'll fit better on this top shelf here. So let's plug in some lights. So let there be light. Again, these I can change the brightness on. That simple. From 100% all the way down to I believe 5%. I'm going to start with 25% for the moment. Again, just to be light and easy on those peppers, but over time we'll move them up, and I can adjust these lights very easily. Again, they're going to generate some heat, so I like to keep my thermometers in here so I can keep an eye on what's going on in here, temperature. Again, I'm striving for about 80 degrees, but I've got this open right now, so the temperature is dropped down. So hopefully here in the next few days, we're going to see a lot more of this going on, where we've got peppers sprouting out, and they'll take off here. And again, it doesn't look like much. Right now there's 12 peppers in each one of these, but ultimately some of my plants end up chest or about head height. So 12 of those, about this big around, they go from itty bitty to big old plants by the end of the season. Well, now that the peppers are starting to sprout and we've got the lights in, we'll let them do the thing. So check back in with us here in about next week or so. We'll see how many peppers have sprouted. We'll keep track of that. I can break out and start showing maybe which ones have sprouted, which ones haven't, and we can ultimately decide if we need to plant any more or not, but hopefully not. Hopefully we'll have pretty good success rate here. Thanks for watching.